Welcome to Sri and Kira Live. As our world spins seemingly out of control, we are all experiencing time speeding up, chaos shifting to a new level, and a yearning to know the greater mysteries of the universe. What does it all mean? Visionary spiritual teachers and best-selling authors Sri Ram Ka and Kira Ra explore these mysteries, offer live soul readings, and invite you to open up your mind, body, and spirit to the paradigms that are shifting. Bringing you fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom, here are Sri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Sri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and Sri and I, with a deep bow, welcome you in the energy of this stunning full moon. We took this picture last night after we had just returned from the temple. We were literally, we had just come back to the little apartment that we keep here at Tosa Blue Mountain for ourselves, and I was in my closet and I looked out the window and went, Shri,
there she is.
We have to run outside right now. Don't you love the golden clouds? And Shri is literally sitting in the Compadres Mountains right now. Yeah. There we are. And there's our valley below us. But welcome to August. And August has come in with this extraordinary full moon, this divine feminine. The moon is full and the clouds are gold, and together we are better. August is going to be one of those months that will prove to be an anomaly when we look back at it at the end of the year. However, it is beyond important. There is so much happening, plus several special revelations from Shri and I today. So welcome. Huge show ahead.
And we want to say hello and a shout out to all the people that are joining us at Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio's Facebook. I believe we're at BBS Radio's Facebook, official Shri and Kira at YouTube. And we're streaming live to the Oneness Talk Radio web page, onenesstalkradio.com, as well as bbsradio.com.
As well as YouTube, official Shri and Kira, right?
Yeah, and all of the affiliates. And so we're just smiling at all of you, wherever you manage to hook in, welcome.
We are truly honored that you are here. And of course, some robust chat always going on over at any of the YouTubes and over here at Oneness Talk Radio, Facebook. So just thank you for coming together. You know, I always feel on a Sunday that when Shri and I first have the honor of connecting with you, the moment we get to say hello to you, we feel this like for 10 full minutes as we're all coming together in the beginning of every show. We really feel this upswell of the building of the community. It's like in my mind's eye, we are sitting in this great sacred circle in this incredible cosmic timeout that we get for 2 hours every Sunday afternoon. And we thank you for sharing it with us. Now, I'm noticing the call boards are filling up really fast today, and it's August. I'm not surprised. So, hey, get into the queue. You can give us a buzz at 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008, where our amazing producer, Don, will say hello, get you in the queue. And remember, if you have an Ascension symptoms question, let Don know so that he can let us know.
All right.
And then over at onenesstalkradio.com, that call board's filling up pretty fast. 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. And if you have an Ascension symptom question, please press star 5 and that'll raise your hand. And so that would get you
that'll help us organize a little bit. And we welcome your calls, and we'll be getting to them a little later, but get yourself hooked in there. So
you get to listen to the show while you're on hold, or just be on hold and watch the show.
More than one way to connect.
Exactly.
And truly, this time that we are sharing together, you know, here we are this year, 2020, we're well in now to the second half of the year. And
Third chakra again. No, it's fascinating. Go ahead.
And this year began with the understanding that we revealed that this was a year where the balance would come forward in perhaps a new way, in a more profound way, because the 2020 brings together the infinite with the 4.
Times 2. Double infinite. I mean, it's sacred union, right? Yeah. Infinite times 2. I mean, it really is.
And so I thought it would be wise, as we were getting ready to share more about the August Ascension symptoms and revelations, to just remind ourselves that as we began this year 2020, it was as if it was a gift. It was given to us outside of some of the timelines that we were tracking in. And it gave creation, meaning your consciousness, the opportunity to come forward with greater healing, power, and passion. This is an amazing year. And I think if we all look back at the last months, let alone the last few weeks, there has been a lot of acceleration. Ego stuff has arisen. Acting out in the mass consciousness has arisen.
Think about this past week, right?
Your ability to connect to your soul has also expanded. Yeah. The ability to discern the difference between that which is grounded in the truth of the universe versus the truth of the egoic states. Because mass consciousness is an egoic reflection. And it has its place. It's a training school. And the ascended consciousness is a soul reflection. So as we are dancing with these dynamics, I want to remind you of something we shared with you way back in January. That for the first time ever, we disclosed.
First time ever.
That fear is an ascension symptom.
For 2020. Now, if you don't remember that, I want you to go back. We actually put the video out in February because we had been asked to delay getting the Ascension symptoms out this year because of the way the timelines were slipping. But we were the only people that came out there and said, look, like it or not, there's going to be 2 overarching Ascension Energy symptoms for 2020. And then we gave you the list of all the others. But these 2 were going to be the experience, because we're in an experience year. And the number 1 is fear, is actually an ascension symptom. And here we are walking into August when that ascension symptom is going to really come forward.
Well, yes, we're there's a robustness coming with the alignment, the August Leo kind of energy.
You're either going to be terrified of this lion and run for your life, and you will never be more afraid, and you will never want to hide more than you ever have, or you are going to run with the lion because you're part of the pack, because you've woken up. That is the vast difference that the August experience will be.
And the other thing to remember about fear is we have been trained to avoid fear in much the same way we were trained to repress anger.
Right.
Those 2 emotions are kind of forbidden territory. But of the 2, fear is more acceptable, okay, in terms of our social conditioning. The society seems to have no problem with having a few frightened people around because it gives either the abusers or the leaders an opportunity to corral them and have fun. So, but let's look at this from an ascended perspective.
I love that.
Fear is the natural result of believing that you are separated from Source.
Wow. Right?
Fear occurs naturally the moment the baby is released from the mother's womb, disconnected from the umbilicus, and all of a sudden the wave of cold, the wave of recognition, and this is why it's so important to have wonderful, compassionate midwifing, childbirth environments.
We're going to talk more about that today because that's happening.
Yeah, but just as an overlay, as a condition that we all must transit.
Right.
Fear is initiated at the very inception of your experience as a being in form. And we work with fear throughout our lives. And then, of course, we have our speed bumps, our trauma imprints, our abuse stuff, and all of the things that happen that are the nature of the world in form.
Yeah.
So the fear energy tends to be wrapped up with an anticipation that it could get worse. This is the way the child's mind works, is when we have a little anxiety, it's like, oh my God, it could get worse. When we have a little injury, I hope it's not terrible. It's like you have a sickness, I hope it's not cancer. We tend to magnify it because of this childhood propensity of not having enough power as a child, so everything was bigger. But you're not a child anymore.
No.
You have gained life experience. You are a master in form, and you probably didn't realize that early on. It probably took a while.
And you were probably told you weren't, too. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
you were told to behave.
Many times.
And so fast forward here to 2020 as we walk into this year, let alone this beautiful community that gathers at Official Sri and Kira for these conversations, for these presentations, for these interactions. And please share your heart in the chat. This is community, and this is where love expands.
Absolutely.
So just to wrap up what I'm wanting to share with you,
Which is awesome.
that the fear then in the experience of a person who is ascending, the experience of a person who has recognized the difference between an egoic orientation, which is a positionality, and a spiritual orientation, which embraces all of the experiences. We're moving from the allness into oneness. Oneness is the fabric that allows diversity to have its expression.
OneNessTalkRadio.com.
So I want to say that again. This is an important one. Oneness is the universal fabric that allows the individuated expressions to have their experience. So as we begin to mature into oneness consciousness, the fear then is an experience, not a definition.
Right?
And as an experience, fear then is a little mini trampoline for your ascension. Because every time fear comes up, you get to witness it and go, oh my, I invested some of my energy in the limited perspective. And thereby the fear had a place to anchor. And as soon as we love ourselves, that part of ourselves that had the limited point of view, we relax, and the fear is just an experience. It's just something that comes and goes now and again. You know, like the taste, like putting a salt on your food or whatever it is. It's just an experience.
Okay.
It's not who you are.
That's the point. There it is. And that's the blessing, is it not? And so why are Sri and I sharing all this with you? Why is my beloved sharing this incredible wisdom with you right now? Because the month ahead, think about last week, and I do want to share, Sri, because I think, and it's 2:12 in our world right now.
Okay.
Loving that, just had to timestamp that. I do want to give a shout out to everyone that was with us yesterday. Yesterday on August 1st was, of course, our Mastery Mentorship Gathering of Spirit and Ceremony. And so much happened and has happened since then.
Yes.
And as Sri and I mentioned while we were together yesterday, and a big shout out to all of you that were with us live, that we were called during that ceremony to know we have to go up. We had to go back up to the mountain yesterday. And as a matter of fact, those of you that were with us, we had a background of what was literally outside then. We're finding that our beloved Gaia here is wanting to speak to the world. So we're going to be using as many backgrounds from real time, same day as we can, all this coming week, because Gaia is really speaking. The birth is happening. And so we're going to talk more about that expansion in a moment, but I want to begin with a letter. And this letter, I'm actually going to read a combination of two letters. Yesterday in the Miracle Team portion where we call in the Healing Light, and if you're not aware what the Healing Light is our 24/7 miracle request and prayer service. It is a confidential 100% service where you send your prayers into the Healing Light sacred container that we hold here at Tosa Blue Mountain and then energize at our ceremony, which is always the first Saturday of every month. And over the years, literally hundreds of thousands of miracles. I mean, incredible stuff. And in all the years, in the middle of our ceremony, we have not ever brought in a specific request. We always bring in the entire healing light. And right before the ceremony yesterday, Sri and I received an email that came our way. And so I want to just share a portion of this email because the intention is for you to open your heart right now before you hear anything else about August. To be here right now, knowing that the pain that I'm going to read to you, that this family is going through, is more than just their own. And that they are symbolic of the pain that is actually fighting to be kept alive on the planet. And so because that is such a big piece of August, because as we've already said, August is going to be that month where you're either going to dive into that crystalline illumination and make that choice, or it's going to be just the opposite. And so lots more to share about that, especially with the ascendant numerology of it and the way the up levels look. So Sri, may I begin by reading?
Let's share.
Okay, so I'm going to read you most of this just so you get the sense of it. But the Namaste, Christina, who is the head of Aura Energy Shield, she's actually a part of this as well, as you'll hear when I read to it. So I want you to know which Christina that was, auraenergyshield.com. Namaste, Christina, Kira, Shri, everyone. Sincerely from my heart, you guys collectively have saved me over the last few days. Thank you. Really, thank you. I have lost so much mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially over the past almost 2 weeks. The physical pain in between my shoulders, shooting through my heart chakra. I know it's my angel wings, smiley face. Losing not one, but 2 freezers / refrigerators of appliances filled with food, just the least of it. My son, who is absolutely now in shock. An accident causing the loss of all of his close friends. One victim, 19, instantly losing life as a passenger in the car. 16-year-old girlfriend barely holding on and catatonic. 21-year-old driver comatose, and if survives, he is paralyzed, brain damaged, and facing a minimum of 27 years in prison for a DUI, property damage, and vehicular manslaughter. These were my young son's close friends. Now he is shutting me out and closing down even more. His father somehow placing unbelievable blame and guilt on me. At 20, Ryan's birthday was just a few days ago, July 20th. Already he has lost 2 friends to suicide, one to a heroin overdose. His birth mom, at his age of 4, died, also due to a heroin overdose. And she chose me, and I deeply honor her for this gift. And now, this. My heart hurts, for he has shut me out. My close friend just found out she has fatal liver damage from medication she received from a life-saving surgery in January. You hit the target right on last week, Shri and Kira. You said it would be a tough week, and everyone around me has felt it, experienced it. Thank you, Shri and Kira. I can't say enough for all you do, and to Christina for offering the Silver Summer discount. Christina, this is for you, for your love gift when my order was challenged. Putting that mask on my face, well, I just will say, it has settled me, it has protected me, it has helped me breathe. People see my smile and my pimples are dissolving. My glasses don't fog. Everything you promised is absolutely true and with extra benefits. You honestly can't believe how much this one little face shield has made a difference. I put it on even when it's not needed because of the comfort and protection it brings to me, created of such love and concern. So now I wear it and everyone wants one, and she has all these orders. Tonight I placed my mask on my altar. Blessings and clarity being offered upon it with white sage, a gift of thanks and prayer for its blessings. Tomorrow, during Mastery Mentorship, it will remain on my altar with Palo Santo burning in blessings and gratitude. I wanted to share my story with you, not just an anonymous prayer sent to the healing light, but if you could please include Ryan, Gary, Tyler, Sean, Rhonda, Taylor, Dawn, Kendall, Jaleesa, all parents and friends affected, and me. We all need the blessings of the Miracle Manifestation team. Much love and appreciation for all you do and your gifts of love and all the different color hearts. Namaste, beloveds. Thank you. And this is from Alicia. And so Shri and I wanted to share this letter with you today because we are all walking through it.
Yeah.
And what really touched me so deeply is all the generations affected.
Yes.
This is just a very small little slice of what every being in density is being asked to endure. And I want to read today's email.
Yeah. So before you do, I just want to take a breath, and as we recognize, it's kind of one of those there because of the grace of God, go on.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Is as you shared, it is a slice. So many people are having their individual experiences
at every level,
and this particular person is so open and heart-centered and sincere in her desire to bring healing energy to her family and friends.
And what I got so clearly, which is why we brought this into our Mastery Mentorship Healing Light, and I thank all of you that were there live to support Alicia yesterday, and you're going to hear what happened when we read her letter right now, is that this family, especially Alicia, sweetheart, you are a lineage holder, and you are trying to carry the entire planet right now, as are most of us. Yeah. This is why we need to stand up and join hands in August. The divine feminine is birthing, is here, and we have a lot to share about that. And so as the divine feminine rises, everything that would resist the divine feminine will stand at the front lines of the battle. And so what will feel like a battle in the third dimension will be ascension in the fifth. And we're going to talk about that chalice in a minute too. So I want you all to bring a hand to your heart, and I thank you all for indulging us for sharing this with you today. But honestly, this is just such a fabulous, we could not share what she is sharing so beautifully. So this email came in late yesterday. This was after, the subject line says Miracle Manifestation Ceremony. So again, if you've downloaded our app and you see, just go and learn about Mastery Mentorship Team. You do have to join. It's not part of the free app, but join the Mastery Mentorship Team, because wow, what's happening behind the scenes. And so, Alicia, I want to share today. So, Miracle Manifestation Ceremony. And Shri, how about in perfect balance? I read her first letter and you read her second. How's that? I'm going to offer that to my husband so that we can all receive this beautiful sharing as well. So let's bring our hands to our heart.
All right, here is her sharing from a few hours after the ceremony. A huge, big hug of gratitude to Sri Kira and all my Mastery Mentorship family. When I sent my Healing Light prayer request out, I never expected to be part of the ceremony. What a special and most welcome blessing. My heart has been overflowing and the tears have been flowing nonstop. During the ceremony, I felt hearts joining all around me, hands uniting in blessings. The tears just flooded. Thank you all, dear ones, masters and angels, spirit guides, Shri, Kira, Sue, Christina, all the team members, and way too many to individually thank. My son is also sharing how most grateful he is for all your prayers and blessings tonight.
Now, this was the son that had shut her out.
He felt the light without knowing. It happened to him and others during Tyler's memorial service. He felt something stir inside him. When I called him tonight, he knew, he recognized and thanked me for the prayer request. He doesn't believe in prayer, but he felt the blessings pouring forth. He thanked me, and I am blessing the miracle you all helped me receive today. Gary is in his third reconstruction surgery right at this moment. Doctors desperately working to save this 21-year-old's life. Blessings are still needed as his life has been forever changed. The 16-year-old sweet little girl is still catatonic, shut down and not responding or making eye contact. She could be home, but for her mental state. My heart hurts for this babe. I will try to post a note of thanks to all in the chat during tomorrow's service. Feel from my heart the deepest gratitude. You and all of the Mastery Mentorship Team members changed my life today. I am so truly and deeply touched and grateful. Namaste, Alicia.
Aren't we glad we wore the waterproof mascara today? No, I mean, really. I just, Shri, as you were sharing that, what was really coming into my heart was this symbolism, the youth that may be catatonic or not, to those whose lives are being changed dramatically in ways that they are not ready or prepared to experience. And for those that can witness it all and stand like Alicia and not let even that take her humanity. Instead, she held who she was. Even though her heart hurt and her son was walking away, she let him have his moment. And it did not stop her from being the master she is. She moved forward. She did not interfere. She put in a prayer request. She looked at the miracle presence, but she did not interfere. And look what happened. In the law of instantaneous manifestation, prayer request, result, same day. And so thank you, Alicia, for holding enough compassion and love for yourself that you are in the 5th dimensional frequency. Because in August, this is a vital, vital, vital skill. Because this is an anomaly, as we've started talking about, and this is a month where the ascension symptom of fear is in front of you, along with the crystalline ignition. It's just such an incredible, incredible experience. And so it is a moment to say yes to that, which is the choice in front of you. Those of you that have been with us on Monday Magic have already learned that if you read and go through the entire Living in the 5th Dimension series, and especially if you've been taking that with Sri and I, then what you know is that Zodkul's basically secret code is yes. Literally yes. And how yes is inserted into a paragraph and how it is called forward. We become an energy of yes. And in the energy of yes, there is not doubt. There's no time to doubt because it's yes. There's no time to be afraid because it's yes. There is only joy because it's yes. There is not, and sometimes the yes is a yes to self that others may experience as a no. And that is the empowerment. The empowerment comes when everything that comes through your truth chakra, I mean everything, comes forward with the radiance of your mastery presence. And so let's dive into, Shri, should we dive into the up-level calendar?
Yeah.
All right, let's go there. So let's look at the August. Here we are, the up-level calendar. So those of you that already have the up-level calendar have connected with this already, I'm sure. You can still get an up-level calendar. It is available 100% as a donation to our Indigenous service programs at shriandkira.com. So right up at the top, this is, every month I was gifted with, this is the quote. This is what will guide the month. Yeah. And let's talk about this.
Well, and so today's or this month's reminder is from the Blue Starborn, who share, love will in all ways ignite divine compassion. Love will in all ways ignite divine compassion.
Now, the thing that's so powerful about this quote is that love will in all ways. That is one energy. And that was what we were just talking about, that sometimes the yes, the love, that compassionate love that holds us in the 5th dimension, sometimes that yes may be viewed as a no by others who may not be in that space with you. But you will not doubt. You keep moving forward. You are not allowing that to create fear. And then igniting divine compassion. That's a little code word there saying to stay in the 5th dimension. Now look at the graphic for the month. We all know that door, you see that cosmic door that opened? That door opened back last Sunday when we were 100% free of what? That Mercury retrograde post phase. That the door was literally open. And it has built through this week. And we come to yesterday, August 1, when you see that we were the furthest out again. And I'm going to show you the ascended numerology on this in just a moment, and it will blow your mind. Where we've been going out since the arrival. Remember, we've had that chalice energy. So I want to remind us about that on the solstice in June, that chalice ignited, and we have been holding this 33rd dimensional portal open through that time until the Lion's Gate, when this is going to completely become in our field as that discus of Vishnu ignites the next level. And so right now, let's go back to the calendar because this is just so important to understand. There it is. Today is the 2nd, and you see it's like the nebula of color. We're coming back in. That, you see how that energy is coming in? It's very big, and then as it moves toward the door, it becomes more refined because you're on the other side. You're being invited, especially right now in this full moon energy, you are being invited to see it from the 5th dimension, to stay anchored in the 5th dimension, to always remember that you are the master. Because as this full moon, the full moon itself is going to be tomorrow on the 3rd, Monday magic. How perfect is that? But it's going to take us all the way through to the 5th. And on the 5th, do you see that little underneath the 5 there, that like gold jettison of nebula energy coming right out in the 5? That's going to be the ignition that's going to take us to the Lion's Gate on the 8th, where we're going to go all the way out and ignite again. And that is going to take us like a shooting star through the rest of the month. So what does that mean? It means that when we hit that up-level moment, when we hit that moment of that divine illumination for this month, we're still in it, which is good to know, because this is going to be a month, as I just want to say again and again and again, that's going to be an anomaly, yet it's going to have its lasting impact. This is going to be a month where fear as an ascension symptom will be put in front of you in one way or another. And that's why I loved opening. Alicia got that out of her system on the 1st, right? She it all hit last week. She jumped in on the 1st and got it released. So you don't have to live with it. It's about being the master with it.
And one of the gateways to freedom is to make sure that your identity is aligned with your authenticity.
Oh, yeah.
Identity is an investment we make in something. Mm-hmm. When I identify with something, I'm saying I've invested my love there. Now, when you identify with your personality self, you're giving your divine love to that egoic shell. Yeah. And you're having the egoic experiences, and you're gathering wisdom and learnings, are you not? And you're learning how to cope and play and do all those things. And then when we begin to recognize that there is a fabric that is allowing the egoic playground to exist, and we begin to notice this fabric is infinite compassion, that this fabric is infinite creation, and we begin to recognize, oh my goodness, I was not getting the full meal deal here. I was in a subset of the greater reality, and that's when the tension between the ego and the soul identity begin to come forward, and we will dance on that fence for a while. Because there's so much habit, there's so much scripting going on. Now, all of the energies, all of the ascension up-level energies that have been happening for the last decade, let alone this last year, the spiritual intent, if I had to guess, would be to give you a boost so that you may lift out of the gravity of the mass density consciousness. Density consciousness is a little bit like that analogy of, remember the old days when the rockets went up into space and they had the stage 1, stage 2. They had to go all these booster rockets just to get out into space. And when they got out there, it was effortless. Just a little compressed air. Okay, I can change course. It's nothing.
Right, because it trusts the flow.
It's a whole different environment.
Exactly.
The same is the difference between density consciousness and ascended consciousness. Mm-hmm. There are transitional zones, and it takes focused commitment. It takes a true investment in your spiritual nature to lift out of the habit of density.
Which is the habit of the pain of the pain. Archangel Zadkiel, Sacred Union, The Journey Home. One of the most powerful quotes for this moment right now.
And so what happens as we lift is our love, our investment is in our higher self, our soul, our authenticity. And the more we cultivate that, the more we see the divine within ourselves and we see the divine within others, the easier it is to hold the 5th dimensional space of compassion. That is the platform.
Yeah.
That is the clearing zone of what has gone before. That's the breath of fresh air that we could heal and be and really anchor in the truth of that ascended state. And from there we go further.
And, I want to jump in again here and offer a reference back to Alicia, because when the whole shutdown started happening around the world, Shri and I were literally receiving guests the day that they shut down the country.
Some people were at the airport ready to come to Ecuador.
And so we, when that day started, we were very clear in our guidance and when we spent time in our temples that this time would really be about action. That the most important thing that we could do in our experience of this experience is to be as present as possible, to do as much as possible, to serve as many as possible, knowing that this is the moment we've all trained for. And that's fast forward to what we just read about Alicia. That's what Alicia is demonstrating today. My goodness gracious, look what was thrown on her. When she woke up a few days ago, that wasn't what she thought was going to happen this week, right? No matter what was going on, no matter what was happening, at any moment, and this is why, keep your eyes on the divine at all times. And the other part of that from Zadkiel, have a good time doing it.
Yes.
That's actually the other part of that quote. And so we are at that moment. And it is when these moments happen that we arise and continue and harvest the blessing and the tools, or we fall into the habit of the pain of the pain. The pain and the fear are actually mastery tools. I want you to see that. Get on the other side of this and see it. Because of the pain, you may have begun an exploration you would have never begun. Look at her son. Look at Alicia's son. Because of his pain, because of being at that memorial service, they all got together at the time that we were sending miracle presents, and they all felt it. Because that is how great the pain can be. It can be your greatest teacher of density until you arise through it and can love it for what it is. That which was simply a moment along the way. It is when we own our pain, it becomes our life, and then it becomes the habit of how we live our lives. So this is a very powerful moment to be having this conversation, because August is going to put it in your face one way or another.
And I'm reminded that the perspectives that are wholesome and will support your evolutionary process sometimes are not understood at face value.
So true.
One little worldly example is when it's snowing outside. I suspect many of you had a mother that said, "Put on your jacket." It's snowing outside. We put on a sweater or a jacket because that's the kind thing to do. It's not that we wouldn't survive. It's that it was kind to wear the jacket. Well, there's COVID-19 outside. Put on a mask. It's the kind thing to do.
Or not. That's we don't want to.
But I'm offering a perspective here that I hold as mine. And
we're just saying don't judge us because
there's been controversy
we live in a country
out there
where we must wear a mask, and that's why the silver masks were created that Alicia was talking about, because it's actually more about protecting you from energy than anything else, and it makes everybody else happy.
So what happens is people misunderstand that it is kind to care for the body.
Yes.
And this is not an act of fear. Yeah. This is not an act of anger. It's an act of self-compassion and compassion for others, like wearing a sweater when it's cold. What I have learned over my experience here on this lovely planet is that we can master anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Yes.
And it's often requires more than a lifetime to master everything.
Or not. Right?
So it's sort of like be wise, be discerning. Where do I place my energy? One of the things that's going on our planet so commonly around is that people are working with the fear as a way to energize victim consciousness.
Remember that?
So when the fear arises, rather than having it be an ascension trampoline, a symptom that can show them that they have grown through fear, they actually give away their power to an authority. And that's the first step to line 2 of what's on your screen. When people are terrified, they will give away their soul.
So really breathe that in. And then I want you to let go of anything that may be triggering you, because we're sharing this. We're sharing this because you're ready. You're already on the other side. You're already here in this incredible moment of ascended conscious expansion. And I wanted to just kind of dance with my husband here when he was talking about learning everything. Where I was jumping in was because that can't ever happen. That's the gift of expansion and allness. That when we let go of thinking there is an everything to learn is when we finally are free to expand through the all. And so I just had to jump in and play with that for a moment. No, thank you for letting me. So I'm going to go ahead right now. I want to show you. You ready for this, guys? Are you like blown away as I am? First of all, just take a look at the diagrams. The clock, those of you that know Ascended Numerology know that Ascended Numerology is actually a charted graphic, and that this is an Ascended Numerology that I've done for this month, including the Lionsgate and the up-level date, so it's got a couple layers on it. To the right is what your poor, beautiful body of form is dealing with this month. And it's amazing and it's incredible. And it also helps explain a lot of the ascension symptoms. And this is why we are now offering Ascended Numerology every month, because number one, it's time. And I just want to stop for 1 second, since this is the first time that we're talking about Ascended Numerology, just to share a brief moment. Would you like to do that, Tree, or would you like me to do that?
Go for it.
Okay, so remember that Ascended Numerology is the original system. This incorporates a 13-digit process. It includes the 0 through 12, each as their own experience. And the reason that it's charted is because it is an ancient system of energy decoding of the soul in this specific lifetime. It has one constant, which is known as the Master Soul Code. And so what I have created is a Master Soul Code for each month based upon the Master Soul Code of this year. So that would remain constant through this year. But if I was doing, say, your own experience, then your Master Soul Code, that never changes. That's who you are. That will never change. That's the aspect of your soul that's on this journey. And that is where that repository is coming in. You may remember that the three magi, the story of the three wise men. Well, the reason that the magi, the mystical magi, would appear at the ancient births, as with the Essene, did the same thing and used the exact same system, by the way. They would appear at the birth of a wise one, which would be all when the system first started. This is way back at the ancient seeding of this planet of Gaia. And it would just be known that they would arrive and literally prepare the ancient scrolls and hand them to those that had been blessed with the gift of being able to shepherd the expanded growth of this one that has said yes to form. And then, of course, that refined over the years. So sadly, mostly all of the original scrolls were destroyed in the burning of the Library of Alexandria. And the blessing that Sri and I have been living is that it has come back through us at the request of the Ascended Masters. And so, yes, we teach it, and yes, we offer sessions, but more importantly, look at it. So as you're looking at the August right now, as you're gazing at that, what you'll first notice is this. If you look up at the top, August itself is another 4.
Yes.
It's perfect balance. And what's so profound is it's the 4 as the 3 plus 1, which means it's all about the Trinity energy and the integration, the chalice, right? That chalice that has been opened, that chalice that we have been receiving. August is saying, stand as the sacred chalice. And so it's also about what? Perfect balance. Now, what's so profound is what is 2020? Because remember, this 2020 is going to be for the whole year. Every single month this year is going to have this 4 plus double infinite overlay. Because of that, the chart is very unique. It's a unique year of charting. It's a unique year of depth. And it's a year where you cannot avoid yourself. You're either jumping in and expanding in through the consciousness, going out into the cosmos, or you are terrified to look at yourself and you're going to shut down even more. Profound. Then, so look at that 4 on the chart. The rectangle, the purple 4, is August. The pyramid is the year. Now, when we put August 2020 together, it becomes the 8 plus the double infinite again. And remember, every month this year is going to have the double infinite. You cannot escape it. Not only is this one of the most amazing moments in our evolutionary expansion in this time to expand, but you're going to be getting it an amp every month. Hence, that's why the up-level calendar was invited to be created and brought to the planet. So I want you to first go down and look at this beautiful experience of energy. So we start off with August the 4th. And if you notice, right coming up out of that rectangle, we're going to dive into the infinite. That's the 0. Remember, we are only a spiral. This chart that you're looking at is it's a spiral, and it's constantly spiraling. You're never without it. That's why it's a constant. That's why it can transform through all forms of experience. That's why it utilizes the full spectrum of numerology, including the dive into the infinite being that you are. Without that, you cannot have an accurate reading of what your soul is saying. It's soul speak. It's your soul's code. It's your own language, and you will understand it. And so this 4, we're diving from August right into the infinite and immediately coming back to the 8 in perfect balance. You see that? And then from the 8, we're bouncing right back to the 4 again. This is because of the double infinites. So we've got this beautiful balance going in and out, but we're going in and out. And if you go in and out too fast, you can get really dizzy.
Well, and touching the 0, the infinite, is actually giving you a kind of a cosmic recharge. There is this pure energetic that is present that is not found in when the number stands by itself. So the touching into the infinite is also reminding us that in the void is the creative pulse.
Right? And remember, what has been the up level this year? This whole year has been about those up level illuminations. And we're going to show you how that affects you in just a moment, because it's the pulse. And what's so powerful is that when we put the chart back up, you will notice that on that wheel, the 8 and the 4 are perfectly balanced. And what's beautiful is that if you were to look at the circle above and below, what you have is an opportunity to lift into perfect balance. And so we are in a year of perfect balance with the double infinite. Let's put this up again so you can understand more what I'm sharing. So if you look at the 8 and you go up into the 0 and then you go back over to the 4, now imagine drawing a line from the 4 to the 8. You would cut through the infinite again, forming a pyramid of light. Remember what happened earlier this year. We had that trinity, those 3 supermoons that opened up that pyramid. Then the eye opened within it. Well, now that pyramid is saying to you, I am a pulse beat. I am a heartbeat of your ascended presence. So now we have 2 effects that are going to happen to this wheel. The first one is the Lion's Gate, which is August 8, 2020. This is going to be the first jet. It's like what you were just talking about, getting through the stages. This is going to be such a profound jettison. It's actually beginning on the 5th with that golden ray energy that's shooting out of the cosmos. But look what it does to us. It breaks the bounce. You see that? So because we're going from the 8, this time we're now going to be able to pull that energy. So we have been the engine. You're bouncing from the 8 to the 4, 8 to the 4. It's been like it's balancing, it's causing stability, it's helping everything seem wonderful. And when the Lion's Gate arises, it's going to be, you know what? The only way I can describe this is that on the Lion's Gate, it's going to be like a bolt of crystalline light, and it's going to shatter everything, and it's going to offer an opportunity to see at a way that you have not seen before. And that light, if it's received, is going to lift you into an ascended presence. Remember, this is that day that the chalice comes into our essence and that the discus begins. And so all of that can lift you into your ascended presence, where it will become an extraordinary momentum. Or that light is seen as a weapon and you retreat. And you're going to see a lot of retreating, and it's a moment where those that are carrying the lift are able to love those that are retreating enough to create a harmonic balance rather than a further anchored separation.
So take
That's
a breath.
why the 8th is so important.
Powerful month and a powerful opportunity.
Yeah.
I just feel called to share a little bit of some, a little behavioral or practical perspective on this. It's important to remember that each of us has a life that's in motion. We have created a progression in our lives. And that as we expand, as we lift, we start to kind of erode the investments in some old things while preserving certain central core activities, core commitments, and opening to newer, expanded ways of being and ways of beingness. So what's been happening, especially since the solstice, I think it was a wonderful opening that happened, is that the flow of energy that is gifting its creative potential to you is either being sloughed off or being accepted. And the question is, when it's accepted, what actions are resulting? Is the egoic action or the victim consciousness being energized more fully? Or is one's ascended orientation and behavior being energized more fully? Because the behavior is an expression of the choice that you make. And most choices are somewhat subconscious.
And it's a choice energy month.
So we're being given the opportunity to see more clearly that which we are choosing and to re-up. Zodkil's, yes, I choose creation. Yes, I choose expansion.
Yes.
I choose ascension. Yes, I choose love. Yes. Do you feel it? The yes is the flower that is blooming.
Yes.
No does not bloom flowers.
No, it does not. It's like its own negative energy.
No is a cap energy.
It really is. Limitation.
So I just want to remind us all to have compassion for our world, because many people are receiving this energy and they have not yet found the footing to say yes to expansion. So what they're saying yes to is a energization of boundaries or traditional ways of being that once gave them comfort, and I think they'll discover that it's like a bath that's no longer warm. It won't seem as comfortable, but they're going to try. And that remains to be seen, doesn't it?
It does. And so love will in all ways ignite divine compassion. The blue star born, the energy of August. And Shri, I want to, just as you're sharing, first and foremost, guys, we've got phone lines holding everywhere. Stay on. And what is so profound about August is that, and this is why I really sincerely, with all my heart and soul, please join the WWA Global Community. Be a part of what's starting on the Lion's Gate. All voices matter, and together we are better. And we are going to hold each other's hand through August as we stand in the middle of that field in our empowered enlightenment as divine beings saying, we are here because the balance matters. We are here because Gaia is speaking. We are here because we love enough. We are here because there is no true better or less or higher or lower. We are here because we are one. And the way that we begin is by championing the divine feminine. And I'm talking to all of you that do not identify as female. Why are you not there? Because if you are just saying you're championing the divine feminine, what about what you have called into you? Shri and I pray, model that balance. And that in this experience, this is about energy. For all of us to come together as spiritual champions, we are going to begin in the strata of the women, but then we are moving into the empowered wellness, and then we are moving into the awakening of right now, because come September, all bets are off. It is a new day.
Yes.
But it's going to be the choice you make in August that will determine that day. So,
well, and I just want to share, for those of you that are going, wait a minute, WWA Global, etc., what has come forward it's crystallizing as a beautiful month of empowerment training and support and awakening.
And really miracle manifestation, because it's all about learning how to harness the law of instantaneous manifestation.
And so when you choose to join us, there will be 4 Saturdays that we will be with you
starting
as a group.
This week. We're going to take you through all of August.
And that this is an opportunity to receive mentorship, to receive opening, to receive healing, and to champion yourself to step forward in a new empowered way. Let's take August and help each other grow. And right now,
due to a tech glitch. This was supposed to end 2 days ago.
There is a fee for this support.
It's a Shakti exchange, and it does have a donation percentage to Clinical Linda and our indigenous programs.
And so in order to support the flow of energy, there is that Shakti exchange. However, the discount, the early bird discount, it terminates at the end of this day.
It was supposed to end Friday night, and we take all of that as okay. There were some of you that maybe didn't know, maybe hadn't realized until this moment what's going on, but be there. Go to
But the shopping cart will cut that off at midnight.
So which time zone? Do you know?
I don't know that.
We don't know what time zone. At midnight in some time
Somewhere
zone.
it's midnight.
Right.
No, it's either Eastern or Pacific. I don't know
it's
which.
a nice savings. It's under $100, and there's payments if you need them. Don't let money stop you. Be there. Together we are better. And how many of us are ready to stand up right now in a month that is going to do everything in its power to go after your lower beingness? How many of us are willing to stand up and say, I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me?
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm one of them, and I know Shri is, and I know that most of you here are too. It's about coming together.
Join us.
Really do. And Shri, I wanted to share that because it's such a beautiful expansion of what's been happening here the past week. So, as we mentioned on the air last week, that we've had all this excavation happening here, and that there has been all of this other energy momentum, and we go through, everything Shri and I share with all of you. We go through. So we're not immune, we're just aware. That's the gift of self-ascended presence. Well, ever since we've been excavating at the top of our mountain, we've kept hearing, where are the grandmothers? And the last time I was up there, I was literally like screaming, abuelos, abuelos, donde, donde? Where were the ancients? And they have been coming in many, many ways. And we have lots of other ensoulments that we're still looking at when we're releasing them. And when Shri and I yesterday, we have not been up there. There has been lots of excavation. We have seen some of the video. We have seen some of the things, but we have not personally been up there for many reasons that we had not gone up. So let's talk about yesterday morning.
Yeah, yesterday we were blessed with the gathering of the Miracle Mastery Mentorship Team. And part of what we do each month in this smaller group of Mastery mentorship is share each other's miracles. We support each other in our growth. We talk about the energy of the time and the expansion. And then there is a ceremony at the end of each session. And this ceremony is an opening, a loving support, an opportunity for each to have their experience of that expanded state.
And to be able to hold the energy of the month in their miracle presence.
Yeah. And commonly, toward the end of these ceremonies, Kira Ra brings through an ensouled message, an energy, a healing technique, whatever it may be, that's appropriate for this time. And we were all delighted and lovingly blessed yesterday by this wise, powerful energy that came through at the end of the ceremony. And I asked myself, who are you? This energy had a profundity and a 33rd dimensional frequency aura to it. And the response was, I am Master Lady Kira Ra. And I am Master Lady Kira Ra is the blessing that I share with you from my beloved in form. And that I want to underscore the potency of this, because what is transforming in our lives that we share openly with you is an evolutionary process, a process of becoming ever more transparent, ever more authentic, ever more in service to the expansion of truth, love, and joy. And so yesterday was, call it a milestone on that. And then following that amazing ceremony yesterday, my beloved and I walked up the hill that's part of Tosa Blue Mountain Sanctuary, and we began to commune with the giant rocks, the walls, that which was uncovered. And imagine for a moment that a temple had been on earth for thousands of years, and that the vegetation grows, and that there is no sign left to the common eye of what is beneath the surface. However, when we begin to feel, when we begin to sense energy, we go, no, there's something there. And so we've had our beloved helpers here, Angel especially, who is the local Kanyari descendant, went up and he goes, no, I used to play there as a child, he said. I remember big rocks. I remember figures carved into the rocks. And from the childlike sharing, he was very delighted. Oh, it was so much fun to us to see them and to and he said, I'll help you uncover them. And so we're about to share with you the progress of that.
And one of the gifts, I just want to, first of all, because I'm still integrating what happened yesterday, so I want to thank you. That kind of took me by surprise. I feel, and the gift of my husband doing that for me right now is that the whole process of Master Lady Kira for me has been one that has been very slow, very humbling, very... let's just say transiting. It has, I'm very aware of what's happening. However, I was not aware of what had happened yesterday for a little while because I was, the way that my husband was with me, the way I described it was I felt like I was getting electroshocks through my spine for quite a while. And yet it wasn't painful. It was just very evident. And what my husband and I spent time really anchoring in our own off-field experience was that and I'm sharing this with you so that you can each start harvesting your gift, right? Remember how we've been talking about how the chalice has been opened to the 33rd dimension. And that as this chalice has been opened to the 33rd dimension, this started on the solstice in June, that this is going to stay open until August 8th. But this is the week it's spiraling into you. This is the week the chalice is becoming you. You are the chalice. And thereby you are full and able to sincerely give. And so what I was unaware of until August 1 in the month of choice, remember we said August is going to be that anomaly month, is that I know my journey in August is going to be learning how to keep that 33rd dimensional portal open, because what happened was that the being that would normally be not available in this world, that would be a being that would be available after transition out of this world, has come in through me while I'm holding this body of form. And I will share that my body of form has been going through a lot of another major upgrade of physical symptomology, which I will show you in the second half of the show on the Ascended Numerology, why we're all going through it. So I wanted to thank you for that, and also offer to all of you our thanks for your patience and appreciation, because Sri and I are still working with what happened. It's hard for me to even remain in consciousness when I try to connect with that energy. So thank you for your patience and understanding. The second thing, Sri, that I wanted to share was that we, in the calling out of the abuelos and the abuelas, we were very, very blessed. I kept talking to Bria Rose. I was like, Bria, Angel has to know somebody. He has to know, where are the ones who know the ancient ways? Where are the grandmothers? We are being so blessed with what's opening here. And we had not gone up yet. This happened last Thursday. We had not gone up yet. We were still unable to go up. And Bria's like, Kira, it turns out it's his mother. And so she is 84 years old, this beautiful woman who was placed to work in the fields at probably age 4 or 5, you'll hear her talk about it, is so hunched over in pain, she cannot stand up straight. However, her beautiful, brilliant smile, her beautiful son, who we're learning has been kind of holding out on us, who also has quite a bit more. We did a complete film about the return of the grandmothers, and because of what happened yesterday, we have preempted that film, and in perfect alignment, because I was clearly heard to play that film Tuesday night on Soul Mirrors as the full moon energy starts transitioning into that golden ray, and that the return of the grandmothers is part of the energy coming in on that golden ray energy that I was showing you on the 5th on the calendar. And so we're just going to give you a hint of what's coming Tuesday night. So I hope you will enjoy that so that you can really connect with her. But I wanted to bring that up before we run this film in its entirety, because this all happened. Everything that we've been in, the opening of the chalice, everything that's happened in July, the arrival, then the return of the grandmother, and how long it's been since she even felt comfortable to step on this property. Mm-hmm. And then the miracle manifestation team on August 1, where Shri and I wound up spending all afternoon on the mountain. And as we mentioned when we opened the show today, and then this is what we came down to when we had just returned. And so we're sharing with you kind of the culmination. So today's film is just a little longer. It is worth every breath. And I don't want to ruin the surprises you're going to find, but you will begin with a beautiful up-level attunement given to you by Bria and Aparna to set the stage for what Shri and I have to share. We're going to watch it with you, and let's return in a moment to continue this journey. Enjoy.
Please enjoy this video showing more of the Master's Temple being revealed this last week as Aparna and Bria Rose read this week's Self-ascension practice, I Am Resurrection, I Am Light. This practice comes from the app Spiritual Mastery Mentorship with Shri and Kira, where you can find free meditations, practices, daily inspiration, and more. As you connect with Archangel Zadkiel's exact words, simply feel and experience this awakening and practice daily.
Breathing deeper, ever clearer, ever more certain, ever more focused, ever more alive, ever more connected, ever more being. I am. Breathing. Bring your hands up and gently gaze upward, knowing that you are the manifest glory of the mastery power of the divine. May you always remember that.
Holding the energy of sacred presence, call forward the knowing that your sacred purpose has already been declared. Call in your destiny. Know the truth of who you are. Know you are prepared to walk into the void with courage, honor, and power. Know you are loved, and call forward the declaration of truth. I am resurrection. I am light.
Now bring your hands back and hug yourself. You deserve it. Know how loved and cherished you are. Know truth. Truth. You are of the divine oneness.
You cannot experience illness. You cannot experience chaos. And you cannot experience that which feels like disharmony. Only this vessel that has chosen this experience can do that. You cannot. You are now ready. Yes, great power.
Welcome. It is Saturday, August 1st, and it's about 1 hour after the end of our Mastery Miracle Team gathering. And Kira and I are right here at the threshold, about to hike up to the Lost City. And there is a temple there that we are feeling called to uncover further for people to enjoy the energy and connection. And it's a fabulous day here at Tosa Blue Mountain. The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, the water is flowing, and our hearts are expanding. So beneath the beautiful shrubbery and growth of the mountain flora, here's an example of what's being revealed to us. This giant stone has been cut, and this other one here is cut in a funnel shape, and it looks like at one time they may have been married up to control the flow of a liquid. However, what we sense is that there's more below, that this cascading excavation is going to reveal the cascading carvings in these rocks of a use yet to be revealed. So on the side of this big rock that we call Bolo de Rumi, where's the serpent. And here on the top, take a look at this beautiful free-flowing canal design. There's more to...
It looks like there's like maybe some spiral stuff.
Yeah, or the head of a serpent there.
Right, and whatever the head was is gone. You see this? It's been taken away. So this has been recently cleared, and we are standing up on quite a few rocks, but you see that this is basically way up at the top there. There had been some type of other head, but when it was removed, it's like opened up this flow, and you see the carving, you see this? Showing the river of consciousness coming down into the creation of the snake. And this, all of this writing on the side here, and this video is not doing justice. This really has to be experienced in person.
Impressions of its prior use is radiating the energy, and right now I'm clearing an intersection point that represents perfect balance. These other points seem to be holding the energy of a form of a calendar, a way of counting. And the more we're here, the more gets revealed to our consciousness. There are lines, there are intersections. As we continue to take in and share this in real time with you, this amazing stone is radiating such a high frequency. This stone is higher than any other natural stone that I've experienced. It's well above 700 on Hawkins scale. And it looks so unassuming until you begin to look more deeply.
So, welcome. I'm putting my healer's mala with the jade and the beautiful cat's eyes and the Shiva eye and the carnelian in this center area, and I'll share with you why in a moment. I was called to wear all this today. So Shri and I are kind of breathless right now, and we want to share with you in real time the discovery of what we are being invited to share with you is the Rosetta Stone of the language of the ancients. And this has been here at the property. People have known about some of the smaller petroglyphs down on the side of it, and when our group was here in July, you might have seen the video where I started uncovering and saying, hey, this is like National Geographic stuff. Well, hey, this is like National Geographic stuff. So when I came up here, the first thing that happened was Shri was already clearing this beautifully carved, you see this beautiful, beautiful ancient river of life. And as you come up to this healing pool area where I was called to put the necklace right now, they're saying that thousands of years ago, and you can even see the remnant here and the connection, and they're showing me, I will try to get a picture and draw it, they're showing me what it looked like, that there's very much like a sphinx-like head here, and that this energy would receive the energy of the light that would then radiate through the stone into the planet to offer into the crystalline grids the direct connection. It was like a heartbeat of constant crystalline connection, and that would radiate down, and there was more. This is like one piece of a huge Rosetta Stone, and I'm confident we're going to find the rest, but it would radiate down, and it would most likely come out here, spiral, until we see it coming back in here again. And Sri Ramka was just guided and found this equilateral cross point. And what's so powerful is that what I'm being shown is that this is actually a calendar. You see each one of these. When we lived with the Mayan, we got pretty good at identifying glyphs. These are all glyphs. Every single one of them is a glyph. And so we're going to start working with some tracing paper and energy, and they're all glyphs. And this entire stone is a calendar that was carved this way. It was an actual oval bowl is what they're showing me, because they would fill it with water and the grandmothers would dive in and they would read the stones. It is a divination experience. This temple, they're saying that Shri and I are heading up to the temple now, but that this is where all of the offerings are made. This is where the ceremonies are, because it's tumbled. This was like the center of the main chamber of the temple. And they're saying that we are at a moment where when it is being remembered, it is because it is being activated. And that if you are hearing this, so are you. So as we made this offering, we noticed that the face in this first glyph is starting to reveal itself. So Shri has just been working with that, and we're just giving you an opportunity to watch in real time. We are not professionals. We are going to invest in whatever proper tools we need to start doing the best we can, but I just want to show you, look at what's happening. Look at what's appearing. Notice what you're seeing.
Here and here.
And as we go up, and you will see right up at the top, the offering of the Shiva eye and the jade. And notice the alignments we're in. Notice what's happening. Breathe in this gift. You are here in real time as this is all rebirthing. We're going to bring you right back down now, showing you a little bit more of this incredible wall. Look at the glyphs. Look at, here comes, this is another one of these rivers of energy. Look at the glyphs into the offering that we have just made. And for those of you that have been with our community for a long time, the crystal being that you see there is actually a combination of a Herkimer diamond and a rutilated quartz that called to me to come with us today, and that I would know when and where to place it. And for those of you that would understand, it was a blessing that was gifted to me from Anam Sumanam. And so there is an awakened moment happening right now, and we are all being invited to pay attention. So this is the top, and this is where I placed the offering. And the reason being is that what they're sharing with me is that approximately 2,000 years ago, when this sacred city was violated, I mean, this stone, the city shattered over 15,000 years ago. It's much older than anybody thinks. But this placement, how the stone was, still held a crystalline grid energy. And that when this right here, this piece at the top was, and I'm going to try and move up, I have the sun right in my eyes, so I apologize, guys. But when that was taken, and it was intentionally taken to try to literally command the power of this stone, what happened was the beginning of the descent of consciousness. And you see the river of consciousness, and you see there's the first level of descent, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. And you see even here where the serpent is carved, and you see other energies here, even this was hacked. It was like this energy was intentionally opened for the descent of consciousness. And what's happened is that it has waited for the return. And by placing the offering there, by all of you who I know are already able to interpret the stone probably better than we can and are understanding it, they're saying now that today we have reversed it. It's about returning back up. We have come all the way out. This is very much, we've shown this on our show many times. We've come all the way into the density, and we're coming back around. And right now, today, August 1, we are igniting the ascent. And I want you to breathe in the difference between the ascent side, which was 100% covered, and Shri found it today in the cross of perfect balance. And so I just want to come over here again. There is the descent. You see the difference? And look at what's appearing on the stone. The descent, the descent, the descent, the showering, the showering of the consciousness down into the void. And then discovering the trail, staying on it, and saying yes to making the climb. And right here, I just want you guys to see this from this angle, because you're probably seeing what I'm seeing, which is an extraordinary energy. So just really breathe that in. And so we're climbing and have discovered today the ascent. And so Shri and I next are going to go up to the actual walls that we believe are of the lost city. Shri is entering this sacred area for the very first time. This is huge. We had been told it was big. We had no idea how big until we got here ourselves. But you can see Shri's just at the very entrance. Yeah. What are you feeling?
It's a container. It's holding.
Yeah. And look, I'm just going to scan over here. You have all over here, Shri. Look what we missed. I feel like I'm in Elora and Ajanta. You see, that's a trail right there. We'll bring you there shortly.
This wall goes all the way up. Our old trail actually cut through a place where it had fallen, and this was all overgrown. So what we're seeing is this defining a whole perimeter of what was a city. And we'll bring the camera up to this stone. I'll show you a couple other remnants here showing energy intersections. So this is one of the keystones in the wall that has all kinds of energy lines drawn in it. Kira has placed an offering at the apex point where the energy would collect. I don't know if you could tell on the video, but there's an indentation there, and pathways were created. Now, to an archaeologist's way of thinking, pathways are to control flow of water. To a more spiritually oriented explorer, what we're seeing is designations of energy flows, and that the energy flows show pathways that are tributaries and pathways that are more of the main alignment. There'll be more to be revealed here. So this is melted stone. This is evidence of the laser beam that caused the destruction of this temple millennia ago.
Ellos ya se fueron, ya quedó con otro.
He was raised by the boss. So his grandma worked here
At this
at this property. His mom, and now he's working here.
Wow, 3 generaciones.
Sí.
Wow, wow, yeah, beautiful.
Muchas gracias, jefe.
Oh, no, no, gracias. Sí. Por favor.
Oh, welcome back, beloved ones, and thank you for sharing that journey with us. You can see that Shri and I are still glowing from yesterday, and I trust your heart was as touched as mine when you just connected with our beautiful abuela of this mountain, and her story is captivating, the way that light integrates into play, and so there was just too much to share with you today, so that's going to be Tuesday night on Soul Mirrors. Please join us.
You know, one of the things that kind of tickles my brain is I have visited, and Kira and I have visited together, so many sacred sites on this planet.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is kind of intriguing is the recognition that this planet, Gaia, was seeded along the equatorial belt, that there were many Atlantises, that the zone of 20 degrees above and 20 degrees below the equator is kind of that zone that supported the ultimate support for life evolving and life seeding and what was going on. And that over these many thousands of years, that which is evidence of those times has been covered over or destroyed. And one of the things that was profound for us was the recognition that this temple that we are blessed to be the custodians of has a story that is not fully revealed yet.
We're getting pieces of it. Some of them from the Kanyari. We're still needing to find more of the elders, and the search is out, and I'm confident they'll be here shortly. So we're piecing together their story. We're putting together what's coming through and has been coming through, how we wound up on this land. And what came through so clearly for Shri and I yesterday was that we're fairly confident we are standing at the top of a pyramid. There's a lot more evidence of it now. The way that capstones are, where they are, the way that you find other stones, when we're starting to get the symmetry. And one of the things we kind of had forgotten was that when we first purchased this property before we moved here, you can drive around to the valley, to the other side of the valley, and stare at our property from the other side. There's a beautiful little church there, and you can stand and see our property. Well, what we noticed immediately, and I will dig out this photo, was the 3 pyramids.
Right.
Right,
When you're a half a mile away or more,
it's 3 pyramids.
the property does present as a pyramid.
It presents as 3. It's like a
and
stack.
then a cascading pyramid.
Yeah.
And it's rather humbling when you look at the scale and size of this, that the mountains themselves are temples.
Yes.
And the Andes are carrying a profound energy. And the other recognition
and
is...
the crystalline energy is igniting this.
Yeah, this August, more will be revealed. And we shared a couple of weeks ago about the temple at Chobshi.
Yes.
That many energies are dormant until the time is appropriate for them to be recognized again. And we're seeing this revelatory process emerging on the planet, that there are opportunities.
Well, and like for Sri and I, this is explaining our time with the Mayan as well. You know, when Sri and I had the honor and privilege of living in Guatemala for 7 years with the Highland Maya, one of the things that we were most honored with was that we were allowed in. We met with those who were revealed as shamans to us that would wear the plainest of plain clothes because they lived in a culture where the shaman and the visionary, the one who is capable of the true divination, is always the one that is killed first, if they're the real thing. And so we were very, very honored and privileged to know these people, to be let into places that you could never be allowed into. And our book, 2013 Mayan Sunrise, we talked all about that. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that this temple in the Ingapirka Chobshi Tosa temple, right? The Temple of the Masters, it really is the Temple of the Masters. Of the 3, it's so clear that in Ingapirka, which is the only cosmic egg temple, and that's the Kanyari structure that predated the Inca structure, which was built around it, that was the original creation center. We are in a creation hub. We are in a hub right now that's very much a cradle of creation. That's why reverse aging is so available here. I mean, I hesitate to use, I don't want to use those words like Shangri-La and all that, but I will say that whatever they thought was in Vilcabamba is here. And we tried to live in Vilca, and it was interesting how we got repulsed from there. And so I'm not sharing that for any reason other than sometimes these energy centers move. Sometimes they start going higher up. You know, so we're much higher up in the mountains, and this is what Zadkula talked about, is how energy would rise. And so this energy right now that is pouring out of here, and this is why, again, we're offering you all these photos, is because together we are better. You are sending us your pictures. We are receiving photos of the beautiful sky of illumination from all over the world. Yeah. We are receiving sunrises, sunsets, cloud formations, and keep sending them. And we're going to ask Bria Rose to put them all together at the Oneness Talk radio site. So keep sending them, because this is keeping our eyes on the divine at all times. And in August 1 energy right now, it is our beloved divine feminine arriving in the full moon, saying, make no mistake, I am here. August 1, right now, we are here. And the divine feminine is saying, what would you like to birth? What would you like to create? Because we are in a moment where the choice, the underlying choice of August, is going to be the evolutionary step of humanity. And so this is the moment. Spiritual champion, arise. WWA Global, stand up and say yes. You are an active participant and you are a champion. And Shri, it's just so exciting. And so I want to talk about our physical bodies, because that's the other thing we're getting a lot of, I'm going to use the word chatter about. Yeah. So we're going to go back to the Ascended Numerology, because there is nothing better than Ascended Numerology to understand the Ascension symptom at its core. It's one thing to know the Ascension symptom is coming. It's another to understand understand how your body is receiving it. And this is also why people receive ascension symptoms in different ways in their body, because it depends upon where you're adept in what's being triggered. Did you want to share anything more? I'm trying to keep going.
Keep going, because
All right.
I'll
He's going to jump in because I can see he's chomping at the bit here. So let me just give you the quick overview. Remember, as we were over on the other side of this, so August is a 4, and it's that purple rectangle. And where is that coming in at your body? The root chakra. This is the one. It's like I'm saying, it's going to come after you with fear. The first chakra is all about make me feel safe. Here's where I collapse if I'm not feeling good enough. It's right there. And the beauty of it is that as August is the 4, so is the year. And so the blessing of the year is that for those who are able to, it can take you can ascend. Your root chakra can go out into that double infinite, where August 2020 comes back in from the infinite as a double infinite expansion to your 5th dimensional anchor ship. Now, I want you to really feel that, because that's the blue arrows that have that's the ascended awareness playing in August. I also put in a black arrow in the middle. You see it there? I'm trying to use as many different colors as I can. So I wanted it. You see that black arrow coming up out of the 4th as well? That's the density travel, which means you're going to feel like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so if your first chakra is carrying a fear of your own beingness, if you are afraid, if you are in doubt, if you are in all those safety issues of the first chakra, then you're going to have a really hard time getting up and staying in the 5th dimension, because it's that you've got to literally bring fear up through everything. So it's going to be very challenging, versus honestly, the easier way to go is look at those dotted arrows, jump out, go up, dive into the infinite. Look at our clock to the left. When we dive into the infinite, we bounce back into perfect balance, and the 8 and the 4 balance each other. Only stepping out of the 3rd dimension into the 5th dimension of the lotus chakra will you be able to balance what's going to be thrown at the first chakra this month. August itself is powerful, don't you think, Sheree?
Absolutely.
So how can all of that tug and tussle between the first chakra and the exploded crown, as we call it, the beyond this body chakra? How are people experiencing that?
Well, so let's take a look at this for a second, because the traditional understanding of chakras comes from a very time-honored, long-standing traditions of the yogic traditions and the use of energy for mankind anchored in density.
Right.
Of course there's a spiritual connection. Of course we have a soul. And the separation energy of density versus the ascended beingness was what defined the eras prior to this time, prior to what was anticipated for 2012, and which we're now realizing is the ascension escalator that we're on now.
Right.
And so the old paradigm, which is just that, it is a paradigm that would bind one in a relationship to experience, to spirit, where the first chakra is about your tribe. Mm-hmm. It's about safety. It's the hunter-gatherer chakra, if you want
I
to call it that.
belong, right?
Where do you belong? Okay, and the second chakra is about creation, and the sexual energies and such. When we take a look at the ascended chakra system and the understanding of the truth of your being, the first chakra evolves into beingness. You cannot, it still carries the energy of being. It's right there in the pelvis. Mm-hmm. Your pelvis governs your skeletal system.
Right.
So look at arthritis, look at joint pain, look at the cartilage issues. All of that is part of the skeletal system. To the extent that the first chakra is unhappy, meaning carrying fear, carrying limiting beliefs about who I am as a being, meaning I believe in my mortality and my frailty, then that is going to act out.
Now, I want to hold that thought, because I want to show you guys one more thing here, and then we're going to be going to our phone lines so you can ask us all your questions as well. So you see that we have that 8, right? So we have the 4, the double 4, August and the 4th, and then the combination, which brings us to the 8. The August 2020 is the 8. The 8 plus the double infinite is essentially the Master Soul Code for this August 2020. Now, this particular week, look over at the Lion's Gate. When we add the Lion's Gate, which is this Saturday, so that is going to be the energy of this full week. August 8, 2020 is the 12 as the double 6. So what that means is we are going to be this week in this full moon, in this divine feminine integration. You are literally being asked to dive into the energy and burst forward as the master you are on the 8th. The 8th is going to be a day of profound mastery. Now, if you come over and look at the body, what that means is that on the 8th, you are going to bounce from your 5th dimensional presence all the way out, because remember, it's got this profound energy. So you're going to bounce all the way out from that 8 because it's got that double infinite. Touch the infinite again, which is how you landed at the lotus, perfect balance, but it's going to all come back into your star consciousness, which is the 12th, and it's going to hang in your star consciousness until the up level date when it will come into the physical body and explode through it. So Shri, in addition to that first chakra, I think we've got a whole bunch of 6th and 7th going on,
absolutely.
right? And so I'm curious for people, and then we're going to get right to the phones. How would that be feeling for people?
So let's get a foundation here.
Right.
To the extent that one is anchored in the limiting beliefs that would keep you separate from your divinity, that would keep you in a state of fearful separation,
right.
The divine flow is going to have trouble anchoring and informing your beingness. So at that foundational chakra, the first chakra of the physical body, as long as we are saying, I trust my life, I trust my divinity, I trust who and what I am, the divine flow can nourish that foundational chakra. And then our state of beingness, while in form, is more congruent with the reality that we are a soul energy having a human experience versus a human experience wishing it could connect to the divine, the separation piece. Now let's bring that back up here. Star consciousness is right up at the kind of the center of the forehead, and the star consciousness is your direct connection to your soul identity. And it informs the pineal gland and is connected there. The 6th chakra is also going to be influenced by this energy of what's going on in your star consciousness, which affects your endocrine system. It affects your whole hormonal balance and can deeply affect your emotional state as well.
So pay attention, because according to the Ascended Numerology, all of that can be happening as an ascension symptom. And if you are aware of that, then you can be on the other side of that, where you're enjoying all of the ascended aspects of those chakras. The moment to fully lift, the moment for the first chakra to become that of your ascended heart, to fully anchor here as you receive this energy. And how we call that energy in will be part of the journey of choice. Remember, it is a moment of choice as this crystalline light ignites. So Shri, let's bring in some people.
And right before we do, I want to say one more thing.
Please do.
So if you had to hang on to a tip for moving forward, there are many.
Okay.
There are many, but here's one.
Always love the tips, right?
Practice witnessing the one who is aware.
Yeah, beautiful.
Be the witness of the observer. In that, we learn how to cultivate a transcendent consciousness without denying our experience. The psychological protection mechanism of denial and detachment and all of that doesn't resolve anything. It just creates a pressure cooker that later bubbles out for healing. So when we practice cultivating the witness of the witnesser, what we're doing is we're lifting our vibrations so that the worldly engagements now have a new context. It's not all that is. It's like my whole world is on its ear. No, it's not. There's an experience here that feels like it's on its ear until you widen your perspective and you go, oh, I'm having an experience versus I'm in the movie. That's the tip. Practice that, and you will self-correct, you will heal, you will evolve very quickly.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so really breathe that in, because at the end of the day, and we've shared this before, and you can all sit there and say it with us, right? Are you tired or are you inspired? Are you inviting inspiration into your life with every single breath? Because the August opportunity for you to choose incredible empowerment, to stand with others and claim it, and thereby soar through it all, illuminating others, is really what's in front of us all right now. So let's do this together. I'm excited to do this together. So Shri, please help us welcome some people.
Okay,
here.
well, I'm delighted to see we have some first-time callers.
We
over
love
at
first-time callers
PBS.
and all of our callers.
Yeah, absolutely. But we like to offer a hug to, looks like we have Jennifer from New York on line 1.
Namaste, Jennifer. Welcome to the show, Angel.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. You don't know. I'm blown away that you answered my phone call. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for being here today.
Oh,
yeah.
I have my hands on my heart right now. I'm a little nervous, but I knew I had to call you today because through your guidance, I know with every cell in my body, I'm a lineage holder, and I continue saying yes. I'm up-leveling, and I dance with joy. However, I have been experiencing a lot of anxiety the past 48 hours, and your show explained it to me. So what I have learned is I need to sit and be aware and witness it and hold space and compassion. Yes. And it will pass.
Wow.
Well done.
Wow. Wow. You know, first and foremost, my love, I am just bowing before you, and Shri and I are honored, as are all of us, to be here to witness this moment where you have birthed the lotus. You know, you are in a moment of literal instantaneous up level, and they're saying just receive the energy that is being offered to you in this moment, and may your heart breathe in ever greater trust. The key to that which you have searched for has been found, and your journey has just begun. Continue to breathe, continue to be, and let the celebration be vast, glorious, and heard by all. And so it is.
Thank you. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
We love you. Thank you for bringing that gift to all of us today. Wow, what a great way to begin. We love you. Namaste.
Many blessings.
And I'm going to come visit you soon.
Yay! Please do. You got to go up to the temple with us. Oh my gosh. And the divination, reading that rock. I mean, it's yeah, come.
That's on my list. I'll see you soon.
All right, honey. Mwah. We love you too. Namaste.
Many blessings.
Oh, many blessings. Wow, do you feel your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, just because what I'm noticing is a simultaneous expansion and some physical heart going on, guys. So let's all really love our heart. That's, you know, the one thing that I think is being modeled, and I love that we've been reading it, we're all modeling it for each other, is that we are at a moment right now whereby each is processing through in a manner that is serving all. And that with each heartbeat, this physical heart is transforming. And so reassurance and self-love and compassion, all of it, every one of these fear ascension symptoms, every one of them is an opportunity for you to bring a hand to your heart's, right? High heart, physical heart, all heart, ascended heart. Bring your hands there and love yourself more, and then notice where you go, because it's a beautiful moment to claim that gift.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, well, let's say hi to more folks.
All right, let's say hi to more folks. Where are we going, Shri?
Well, I was thinking that we might head over to Boise, Idaho. It looks
Okay,
like,
Boise,
over at
Idaho.
Oneness Talk Radio, and let's say hi.
Hi, namaste, Boise, Idaho. Welcome. Hi.
Each heartbeat, this physical heart.
All right, turn off the other sound and say hi into the phone. Oh, are you there?
Hi.
And self-love.
Nope.
And compassion.
Okay, well, we tried.
All of it.
Okay, sweetheart. So we've we muted your line again. So if you're listening or when you listen, we will try you again. Just when we try you, you got to turn off that other volume.
Yeah,
all right,
there's a
Sri,
delay.
where are we going now? You want to go back over to BBS for a
We're
moment?
going to go to BBS,
All
and
right.
over on line 3, we have Nicole from Canada, who's another first-time caller.
Namaste, beloved angel. Welcome.
Hi, sorry. How are you?
We are really well. How are you, my love?
Good. I'm glad to hear that you guys are well. It was my first time calling.
What a blessing.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us today. How can we serve you?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could get a mini soul reading.
Of course you can. Oh, it's definitely possible. And so, my angel, first and foremost, it's funny, we were just talking about this heart energy. If your hand's not already on your heart, I want you to, if you have the ability to, if it's safe to do so, please put a hand on your heart. And then with your other hand, just offer yourself the gift of placing it wherever you are called. Whether it's your head, your third eye, your throat, your stomach, resting it down by your side. It doesn't matter. Just notice. Just notice. And I'm just going to put my hand right here, my second hand also on my heart. And the reason I'm inviting you to do that is because they're showing me you, and you're sitting. It's not a cave. It almost looks more like a heavy tent, and it's very blustery outside. I can't really see what's outside, but it's like heavy fabric, this tent, and it's very blustery. And you're sitting in the middle of this tent at this desk, and you're staring at this desk, and you're wearing this huge like robe, and everything is very, very dark purple, very, very, very dark purple. And there's this little bit of light on the desk, but your back hurts. And it's like you've been focused in this space for so long. You have carried this energy for so long that it's like it's become what you believe. And what I'm watching right now is what looks like this beautiful golden light, like mist, that's coming in from underneath these like curtains, these velvet like heavy tent curtains, and it's coming in around you, and it's coming right up right at the area where the shoulders, right in between, like where the neck hits the shoulder, I guess that area of the spine, and it's coming in around you, and these beautiful presences. There's archangels and ascended masters, but they're all golden, and it's like golden breath, and they're all saying the same thing. We are right here. And all you need do is relax through that which keeps screaming no to find us again. We are right here. And they're saying the more that you relax, the more that you just relax, the greater you will hear, and that there is a restoration of hearing that you are now claiming, because you have done the focus. Now it's time to lift up, knowing that even if there's a temporary pain, it's going to feel better than the pain that's been in front of you. And so it is. Thank you for a very powerful energy for us all. We are very grateful to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my love. Namaste. Many blessings. Many blessings. And I want to invite everyone, let's all take in a nice cleansing breath through our nose. Woo, let it out with sound. Much better. There we are. All right. Let's go over to Oneness Talk Radio, Shri. Looks like we have an unknown wireless caller. Let's try and find out who that is. So, unknown wireless caller, welcome and namaste. And it shall remain a secret. Okay. And so it was nice to connect with you. Thank you so much. Let's go to Nyack, New York. Looks like it might be Maureen. Namaste, Maureen and Nyack.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hi, we can hear your background, but not you. All right, Shri. Well, let's go ahead. Yeah, we're not seeing any.
Yeah, the mic isn't
okay,
working
so
well for them.
All right. Well, let's go back over to BBS Radio. And Shri, where are we going?
Well, it looks like we have Ramon from Los Angeles holding on line 5.
Well, namaste. Welcome, beloved angel.
Hello?
Hi. Namaste, sweetheart.
I love you.
I love you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got through, and I just want to say I was so blessed to hear the elder wisdom and all the beautiful connections you all are making out there, and that was just so beautiful because I know elders hold such, magic within their bones, and it's just an activation for me to see that and see you guys interacting. So it was so beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome, and make sure you're there Tuesday night for Soul Mirrors when you see all of it. I mean, it's humbling, tear-invoking, and uplifting.
Thank you. I love you guys. And so I'm open to a mini soul reading, whatever you have for me. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so honored. Thank you, beautiful souls.
Oh, well, honey, first and foremost, thank you. I think Sri and I are both sitting here feeling this beautiful energy. And what's so beautiful is that I'm feeling you as butterfly energy right now. And what's interesting is that I'm feeling it in the third chakra.
There's a little...
Yeah, so I was wondering if you were feeling that, if you had anything to share too, because I'm really feeling like the birthing for you is not about the traditional second chakra birthing. You're in more of a ascended birth, upliftment, expansion, right? And it's really getting me like I feel like I have a belt on at my third chakra, literally lifting me up in the air right now.
Well, and what my sense of this is that for you, the opportunities for expansion really begin at your heart and then your vision, your third eye. So those two chakras are really calling you forward for expansion. And yet this third chakra is meant to be the foundation to help, because it carries the energy of trust. The third chakra is about, I trust my life, I trust my body, I trust, period. And when we are in divine trust, our digestion settles down, our body is happier, and then the heart has a lovely foundation to expand. And you have a beautiful heart, and it's really time to take a peek at, is there any area left that you are having doubts? That the uncertainty is at work, and to take the love from the heart chakra right down to the third chakra.
And let it be your wings. Let it be your wings. Let these two, you know how when we put our ascended heart together, it's the double, right? It's the double infinite. Let that center infinite expand even more so that your third chakra is so happy that these wings that are birthing, rather than feeling like you're being pulled up, you've already ascended up. And it's like I see you're so capable of going into the seventh and really starting that experience. And so it's a moment for you of incredible expansion. And so wow is right. Thank you for sharing it with us today. I think what a wonderful gift for us all.
Yes, thank you so much. I keep hearing the universe favors the brave and the courageous. So I'm very honored to continue being courageous and stepping into this power. And everything you've said is so aligned. Thank you.
Thank you for being our mirror. We are so grateful.
Many blessings.
Namaste, Angel. Mwah. Namaste. And wow, I really, what just happened, feel your third chakra. You know how I was talking about that throughout the show. I'm loving how all of our callers always do this. It's like we came to a moment where right now my third chakra feels very freed and expand. So all of you, please experience that gift of a freed and expanded third chakra.
Well, and I want to bring us back to that beautiful practice that was shared by Aparna and Bria Rose.
And that's in the app. That's this week's Mastery app.
And when we begin to recognize that our energy is lifting up, when we unhook from grounding onto the earth, we no longer send cords into an earth that's in transition and holding the chaos, that we float as custodians on the earth, and that we breathe and connect up. As we do that, we connect with the deeper truth, the deeper realization of the declaration, I am resurrection.
I am resurrection.
I am light.
I am light.
And as we connect, integrate, and own, I am resurrection. I am light. The natural healing resources of the universe come more fully online. The natural ascension capacity of you as a sacred traveler, having your earth experience, your recognition, your memory, Your ability to see beyond the veil becomes more robust, more available, and more present as a gift rather than a diversion or anything that would be unsettling to you. We are at a magnificent time on this planet.
We really are. And as we are running out of time here
for the
what we
broadcast.
do for this broadcast, we want to end by sharing with you that when we had this beautiful meeting with our beautiful grandmother energy, when all of this is coming through, the divine directors came through and offered this, and it turned out to be exactly what the heart of all of our conversations were. So just taking a breath as we want to offer this to you at a time when so many are convinced that they must convince others, when healing is becoming the issue. The one thing we can all agree on is the light within. Breathe in that this week you are being invited to find your light within in a way that will sustain you, uplift you, ignite you, and call forward the masterful spiritual champion that you are.
Yes.
We love you, and we know that you are the blessing.
Take a deep breath, let a smile come to your face, and trust that all is truly well.
Mwah.
Namaste.
Namaste, beloved angels.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.